hot seat, as you can always see, we have some characters in the building as usual, cutting up and clowning before we even get crack-a-lacking. But hey, that's what we do here on the hot seat. I'm super excited. I am your hostess with the mostest, P. Koffe Brown here in H-Town. Super excited to be with you guys for another week of the hot seat with some great adult content, talking about things as it pertains to relationships, all facets of relationships. Anything that you can think of, we tackle on the hot seat. So we have some returning panelists, and of course we're gonna have them do a little wave offering when we call them out. And then we have a brand new panelist to the stage, snap clap for the latest beauty in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all give your love for the latest beauty in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're gonna start with the DOC. We got LL in the building. What up, L?
What's good? It's LL Kool-Aid. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
We got Dr. Adrian Troublemaker Woods in the building.
I'm behaving today. I'm not even gonna say much. I'm gonna sit there and let y'all do it.
We'll see. We got Darren Troublemaker Baker in the building. What up, Darren? We got Tiffany Principal Shelton in the building, out there wrestling with the children. Welcome, Tiffany. Welcome. We also have Jason Williams in the building. What up, Jay? Jason has his book in his background, our best-selling project, Why He Married Her and Played Me, 9 Secrets of What He's Thinking. He got that in the background. If you have not gotten your copy, shame on you. You got to get it. But anywho, we got another beauty in the building, brand new to the stage, snap clapping for Christina Jackson in the building. Welcome, Christina, to the hot seat. What up?
Woo! Thank you.
On with us. Super excited to have you on with us. Thank you for saying yes to coming, hanging out with us tonight. Hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Hey, what's up, P? My namesake is in the building. My baby girl is in the building. So we're gonna go ahead and get the party started. We have some wonderful people in the building. Gracia Collins Rich. Woods, Adrian Woods, other half. We got Precious Tankard, Nicole Oliver. We got Miss Trotman in the building and several others which I cannot see. So please forgive me for not calling out your name. But hey, welcome in to this week's edition of the hot seat. So as always, hey, Antoinette Caldwell is in the building with us. So we got an interesting topic this week. So I got a message. Y'all know somebody's always private messaging me. Hey, Hobby, talk about this. But I had to play the words a little bit more eloquent than what was in my inbox. All right. So my inbox went a little something like, hey, P. Koffe, if I'm dating somebody, do I have to tell them who I'm knocking down? Body count, you know, like the young people say, right? Do I have to divulge this information with somebody that I'm dating? And I was like, ooh. So I played the words and I said, if we are dating, do I have to share all of my dealings, quote unquote? Now, when you say dealings, that can be a whole lot of different things that you can consider.
You know what it means. Stop playing.
Dealings. All right. So don't start, Adrian, because it's not your turn. All right. Okay. It's not your turn. All right. It's not your turn. It's the queens will be going first. All right.
I got a quick question though. Quick question. No question. What are we defining as dating? What are we defining as dating? We need to know beforehand.
That's where we're going to start. That's where we're going to start. Right. Let me do the show.
My bad. You the leader.
So we are going to start out. Thank you, Adrian. Always turn it up, Christina. You see what I got to do?
I'm behaving today.
He had a good question. I was wondering that myself.
Thank you, Miss Christina.
So this is how we're going to start the party. We're going to start the party by putting Adrian in timeout, as always. That's how we start a party. Adrian has to go straight to timeout every time we're on the show. But the question is, the first question that we must answer in order to talk about what we're divulging is what defines dating? What does the word dating even really translate into? What does that really mean? All right. So we're going to start with Christina because Christina is new to the hot seat. So she's going to be the first one to warm the chair up. Let's go, Christina. Define dating. What does dating, when you define dating, what does that even mean?
So for me, if I'm dating someone, I am getting to know them to determine if we're going to move into a relationship, I'm not really committed to that person. We're dating. We're taking the steps to see if we're going to get to the next level. That's what I think dating is. So if someone says they're dating me, that doesn't mean you're committed to me. That means you're dating me. And if I say I'm dating someone, that's what I mean. I'm dating. Simple as that.
So dating means no commitment, just learning the basic, it's like the ABCs of let me get to know you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way that I look at it. I mean, over time, I've learned that people have different definitions of it, but that, for me personally, if we're dating, we're getting to know each other, and we're seeing if we're going to take it to the next step, the next level.
So, Adrian, define dating.
Dating?
Yes, define dating.
When I think about somebody dating, I tell my son, if you're dating, you're single. You are by yourself. This is a get to know. Kids call it talking today. You know, you're getting to know that person. But there's more than one fish in the sea, and sometimes I like fish. So, you know, I got to catch them where I can. My bait is fed fresh.
Here we go. Now we talk about baiting and switching. Okay. All right. So next up on the docket, Darren Baker, define dating. What does dating mean, Darren?
Basically getting to know, but you said dating. You didn't say exclusively dating. You just said dating.
We're not adding any other variables to the word dating.
I understand that, woman. Calm down. I'm talking now. It's my turn.
Ooh.
You get back to it later, but I just wanted to make sure, because when you say dating, like Christina said, we're getting to know someone. It changes when you say exclusively dating. That's when everything changes below. You have to start from the top and work your way down. You can't go from the middle out. You got to go from top down. So exclusive dating is different than just dating. And like Christina said, I'm getting to know people. Hell, I could be dating 4 or 5 people. I could be dating one person or 2 or 3 people. But, you know, if we've been hanging out for the last 2 or 3 months, at what point do we change the level of the relationship? I'm spending all my time with you. I'm talking to you late at night. You know, we're going out every weekend.
You can't get stuff on the phone.
Exactly. Good morning text messages and all of that.
What you doing? How you feeling? Send me a picture.
There again, that could be getting to know a person. It may be longer to get to know. Women, it could be shorter, or vice versa.
First of all, everybody gets a what's up text.
Wait a minute, hold on. It's not your turn in line. You cheating in line again. Jason Williams, define dating.
Dating for me is just like everyone else said, just the getting to know stage. It's the stage where people are trying to feel each other out and see if you even like that person long enough to be with them more than just one date. All
right. So Tiffany, if you can, define dating. If you don't have to deal with the child right now, she's over there doing many projects in the industry.
I have my pen in my hand. So, you know, when I think about this question, so the 20-year-old me had a definition of dating, and then the 35-year-old me had a different definition of dating. So the 20-year-old me, without enough experience, assumed dating was we were committed. Might get a little loud. That we were with one another and we were in this relationship. Now the 35-year-old and 45-year-old me, I understand through those 20-year-old experiences what dating is at this point. And so dating should be open, regardless of the age level that you're in. Dating should be open, and it's that communication and those expectations that the two people establish. So I had it wrong.
So basically what everybody is saying is that dating is nothing more than data collecting. I'm collecting data right now. I'm discovering and I am collecting all types of data to determine if we can define what it is we're doing. That's what dating is. We're doing data collection. All right. So consider the fact that we're in the data collection. We're collecting data. I'm getting to know you, things like that. So if we're dating, then do I have to share my dealings? Do I need to tell you that I have more than one person that I'm intimate with? Is that privileged information? If I'm dating, do I have to tell you that I have another person that I'm dealing with, as far as from a perspective of, my weekends are not just defined by my interactions with you. I'm dealing with Jack and Jim and whatever. So when you talk about dating, how much information are we divulging when we're talking about dating? Now, we got to contemplate a whole lot of variables. One is, in the climate that we live in, with all the stuff that's going on, if we have multiple sex partners, are we being respectful by not telling them, or are we being disrespectful by not telling them, so that they can make a decision as to whether they want to deal with us on that level? Are we being respectful by not including them in the fact that they're in a dating pool? They're not just one person that's the only suitor or the subject matter for the experience. So what is it that's good, and what is it that's indifferent, and what is it that is just off limits as far as what type of information we're divulging? Jason Williams, come on, talk to us.
I'm glad you saw my hand.
I
sure did, because that's a tricky slope, because the reality is, first of all, for women to divulge that to a dude, I'll say, like, if a woman told me, yeah, I'm seeing you, but I'm seeing a bunch of other people, I'm like, all right, cool. Now, in my dating, let me back up. In my dating era, so we are clear.
Let's go ahead and put all the clarity out there. We don't want no spirit of confusion.
Right. For a woman to say that, the mentality could flip, where he was like, well, I'm gonna try to, see who this chick is and what she about. And if you tell me, oh, I'm seeing a bunch of other people at the same time, I'll be like, really? Okay, cool. That's the type of relationship we got. Well, then I'm good. So if you see me out in the street with somebody, don't be mad. Don't get an attitude, and don't catch no feelings, because that's just where we are right now. Until we call it exclusive, then I'm still gonna do whatever I want to do. But I think if you're physically involved, you should definitely divulge that, because of the reality of what's going on and things like that. Now, if you're not physically involved with anybody, then, or even that person, we don't need to have that conversation, because that ain't got nothing to do with you.
Until I see you in the street with Jackie, then that's where it's going to be.
Well, if you see me in the street with Jackie, what you should do is just wave and say, hey, how you doing? And keep stepping. Because you said you're seeing other people too. So God bless you.
Girl, I'm taking them too, boo. I'll be with you next time.
Right. Jason, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You forgot the ludicrous rule.
Oh. So go ahead and elaborate on the ludicrous rule then.
See, because everybody knows you got to put them in different area codes. And we live in Houston. So 713-281-349, wherever it goes, because I don't have to tell you anything. I'm saying, just enjoy my company.
Okay, at that level, though, you could use player status and be like, look, I'm going to tell you straight up, this is what's going on. If you want to be involved, you be involved. If you don't, you don't. Because the reality is I've been in more situations where I was up front and the girl was like, well, cool. Well, just make sure you keep her on, away from me. We don't never get really into any clashes, and we cool. So my personal experiences have always been just be straight up, and then that way you ain't got to worry about no fussing, no fighting, no nothing. Either you can deal with it or you can't.
I won't gonna tell you anything to get you to get you next hour.
Because the girl. Okay, so let's just tell the truth about this whole thing. For the most part, women, we have a thing called emotions. Okay, we can try to dance around it and play like we don't have those and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, we're not going to be really greatly excited about seeing you with Jackie. And I just been on the phone caking with you all night, and I've been caking with you for 3 weeks. So we're not going to be excited about seeing you in the street with Jackie. So it is best for there to be a definition as to what you might experience, because if I know that Jackie exists, and you know that you and I are kicking it, however you want to describe this particular narrative that we're experiencing, sometimes it for the sake of argument and to keep down challenges, what you said, Jason, makes a lot of sense to say, hey, I'm gonna be over here at zip code, this zip code here with Jackie, and I know you over there on that side. So let's kind of we don't want to even have the probability of a messy interaction. Christina, jump on in here, girl. Talk to us.
I mean, first of all, if we're dating, I don't owe you no explanations. If we start to communicate, and like we really feeling each other, and we're like, okay.
Let me ask you this. You say I don't owe you an explanation. Is there a DNA swap at this point, or there's no DNA swap? So we want to make sure our viewers have a clear understanding. We want our viewers not to be in the spirit of confusion, honey. The viewers
Why does that matter?
Know what's going on before we say I don't owe you an explanation. The viewers need to know, is there or is there not a DNA swap?
If there's a DNA, okay. If we're being responsible adults, okay. If we're being responsible adults using protection, I'm sorry. If we're dating, we're consenting adults. I don't owe you an explanation of who I'm sleeping with, because we're just dating.
Okay. All right. Darren, I see Darren has a hand up.
Oh, you didn't see my hand.
No, I saw your hand. I'm gonna let
Darren
first.
Don't ask, don't tell.
And she said that with a smile. I just wanted to say that, y'all.
Don't ask, don't tell. If I don't deem us to be at that part of the relationship, because let's be honest, women mostly assume when you're dating or you're talking to them, they assume, not all the time, that we're only talking to them. Most women are most women, not including
I think y'all think that y'all the only one.
Huh? Well, sometimes it flips. It works both ways. It depends who has the upper hand, so to speak. You know.
Okay, I like that.
Okay,
I like that.
All right. I'll
take who has the upper hand. Now, if you're not a person that's lively or that's been out there in the public eye, and every time you go somewhere, hey, how you doing? And you know everybody, you're in the public eye. They may not be that way in a different category. So, of course, by nature, you're going to know more people and be out there a little bit more than other people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I use this example. Certain girls you meet, you can take them to to Sharptown Mall, and they think that's the best mall out there.
Okay.
Take them to Sharptown Mall.
That's like, wait a minute, let me qualify that for Christina. That's like Gateway in Jacksonville. Okay, exactly. Smile right off your face. Yes,
so what you have to do is certain girls or certain women, and you ladies do the same thing. You put guys in categories. We put women in categories. Certain women are Sharptown Mall. Some are Memorial City Mall. Some are Galleria Mall. Some of you take them to the Memorial Mall and you elevate them to the Galleria Mall. They think they're doing something because they're in a different category. You have to keep women in categories. Good, bad, or indifferent, we keep you in categories. You keep us in categories too. Big, small, tall, big. I want big hands, small feet. He got to drive a certain kind of car, da-da-da. We do the same thing for y'all. No different.
So what? Okay, so now that you've opened Pandora's box, you may as well sit in it. So when you talk about categorizing, so what do you mean? Qualify that statement. What would be a Darren Baker category?
Well, I just gave you a category. You got
I want you to elaborate.
What you have certain women, guys will meet women anywhere. We'll meet you at Marshall's. We'll meet you at Walmart. We'll meet you anywhere I can. Women only want to meet certain kind of guys as they get to a certain age. Certain kind of guys have to have a certain kind of criteria. You don't, Christina?
Man, you are not dating Shrek.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
I hear you now.
Okay. So Darren, you talking about categories. So, Koffe, when you asked for his definition of the categories, and then I immediately started to think, yeah, you're right, broke and not broke. Right. So we good.
Yeah, facts.
We good on that. We good on that.
Broke and not broke. All facts.
Y'all do more categories than that. Y'all do way more categories than that.
I'm trying to be nice with the category, but you know, women do have more categories than guys. If you look nice and you fine, we're gonna talk to you depending on where you're at in your life. Certain guys will be going to McDonald's to meet somebody and talk to him, but you won't meet a guy at McDonald's. You won't meet a guy at Walmart. You don't want to meet him at a club or at a certain kind of event. He got to be dressed a kind of certain kind. Christina.
I've known women who say, who live in the projects say, I don't go out with nobody who don't have a BMW.
But
So
you in the
Christine,
project.
what you're saying is you met a guy in Walmart or at McDonald's?
That is a
Yeah, I would talk to someone if I met them in Walmart or McDonald's, because it would depend on the conversation that we have. If you say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get those spices right there," and he say, "Oh, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm fine," and he said, "Okay, what you making something for dinner?" "Oh yeah, I'm making spaghetti tonight." "Oh, okay," and then we strike up a conversation, and it's intriguing. We may exchange numbers or whatever, and we're going to get to know each other. I'm not going to look at it because he's in Walmart or he's at McDonald's. I mean, hell, I'm in Walmart or McDonald's.
Yeah, but
No. He's saying working at Walmart.
Millionaires. I know some millionaires personally who love McDonald's French fries. So they're gonna be in McDonald's and they got millions of dollars in their bank account. They just like McDonald's.
Now,
so it's not. Are you referring to somebody working at McDonald's or Walmart, Darren? Because I want you to qualify that. When you say you meet somebody at Walmart or McDonald's, by happenstance you can meet anybody anywhere. But true. Are you talking about like?
I meant to say working. It could be working at Walmart or McDonald's behind the counter. Guys are going to talk to women regardless. If you're at the bus stop, we driving down the car, we drive a nice car, and you find we may stop and talk to you. Well, I don't know about Adrian and Mr. Williams over there, but I've done that.
Nobody. Don't be putting me in that.
Darren has gone all the way to the left field of the conversation. Adrian, bring us back, please. Bring us back.
Okay.
Let's get back to what we're talking about. Let's keep working categories. Let's keep on with the categories so we can try to get a little bit more clarity on the categorization.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna tell you is my mama always told me, you never tell a woman the whole truth unless you want her to leave.
Oh my God.
So you don't put out all the secrets.
Exactly.
So you have a category, right? Guys, we're gonna have that, oh, she cool and she can cook. So I'm gonna go over there and chop it up and get me a hamburger.
Right.
And you got the other one that is intelligent. And now you go have them serious, deep, soul-searching conversations under the stars. And then we got Miss Booty Doo. Miss Booty Doo is only called at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're not spending the night. You ain't got no toothbrush. And then you got your main.
And go pick up.
Yep. And then you got your main. That's the one you're going to act the best with. That's the one you show off to everybody because that's your main. You know what I'm saying? And you women got the same thing. So
right.
So we got an interesting question in the comments, which we're gonna go to the comments, Christina. I want you to answer. I want you to start off with your answer to this question before we slide into the Troublemaker Men's Ministry. Okay. So Antoinette Caldwell says, so does the categorization of someone determine if you're going to divulge who you're entertaining?
Yeah.
Christina?
I think so. Because the category, if you're dating them, if you're exclusively dating them, if, it just really depends on what category you put them in as to what information you're going to share. Now, I will say for me, in the beginning, hey, listen, you trying to get to the point of me only being interested in you because you're not the only one trying to be the only one. So I think it just really depends also, not just the category, but how am I trying to say this? It's a lot of variables in that. Like if we don't connect on a certain way,
not vibing hard enough.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it like, okay, good morning. 6 hours later, how was your day? I'm just what did Darren say?
What did you say, Darren?
Can you fix the refrigerator? Can you cut my grass for me?
No, they got Angie's List for that.
No, you can't just come to the house, sir. That's a negative.
If you come into the house, then you in a whole different category.
Not necessarily, because you keep us,
No. Stop the car. Stop the car. Anybody that gets that type of access is at a whole different level of connection, period. You will never, matter of fact, you won't even know my full name. Forget address, forget all that other stuff. You get those kind of opportunities if you're in if we're at a certain plateau, like Christina said, if our vibration is off, but you're still trying to pursue, but the energy is not balanced to where I feel the same affection towards you as you feel towards me, then it's not there. Like she said, it's going to be minimal to no contact or connection whatsoever. But if I'm vibing off of you, you're vibing off of me, we're feeling that same amount of energy, we're going to start building something from there, whatever that something translates into, but it'll be a building block for us to keep moving forward. So yeah, you're right. It is a yes. It is a yes to that question, how much information will be divulged. But I will say this. I do feel like what Jason was saying earlier is a fact. Here's a big picture. Even when Christina mentioned protection, if you're having oral sex with somebody, are you protected? I'm asking the questions.
Oral sex to me is intimate. So I'm not sucking everybody's dick. I'm sorry.
That's the whole point.
Can I say that? Can I say that? I'm sorry.
You said it. Hey, said it.
Hey, but the thing is,
hold on. So if I'm dating, but I mean, literally, seriously, this is a really serious thing because every person doesn't think the same way when it comes to their sexuality and what they will and will not do. So you got some people doing some real wild kind of stuff with everybody.
Yeah,
so
that's
if
true.
You're in these streets dating, and you don't know that Jack out here, doing what he does with Sally and Janice and all this kind of stuff, you can't protect from oral sex, period. Let's just keep it 100. So if I'm sleeping with you and we're at that level and we're having those type of experiences, I have to know if you're doing this and that with somebody else. Because this is a danger zone we're crossing at this point. Right. Think about it. If something happened to me and I know where the hell I've been, and you ain't tell me, it's gonna be some serious,
Aren't you moving?
I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop the car right there because I don't want to incriminate my own self on my own talk show. Okay? Because I ain't never had nothing, I never will. And I do not want to take any kind of unwarranted risk because of ignorance, because I did not know, because you chose not to divulge this major information to me for my own protection and for yours. We don't know who's going what with who. That's just.
But see, this is when we take this too far. We're saying we're dating. We're dating. No, I'm saying if you're dating, I'm saying you always got your Jimmy hat. You always got your Jimmy hat if you're dating. Now, if you out, I'm saying, because if you out there just doing anybody do, because for me, if I'm gonna give it to you raw, I'm telling you that I'm saying this is I care about you.
We're not even talking about that. We were talking about what Christina said. She said we're responsible adults and we're using protection. That doesn't mean we're not having oral stimulation. You can't protect yourself from that.
I ain't got to tell you nothing.
Okay.
Well, the way I look at it is, like I said, for me, that's a more intimate kind of thing. So if we're dating, I'm not pulling all my tricks out the bag like that. I'm just not.
Said, we moved it to a different level. We're not just dating no more. We've moved it almost exclusive.
Right.
Exactly.
We get to that point. Think about the time that we live in. These people are doing this stuff. It's not no exclusivity attached to that.
I was about to say, just that's us because we in our 40s. Well, I'm in my 40s.
I'm in my 40s.
Kids out there doing all kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But if we dating, we're not on that level. We're not on that level.
Listen, these people come out with the levels.
Mm-hmm. We live in but you're not on that level. It's casual dating. I see you when I see you.
Raw time. We live in a very raw time. This existence that we live in now, this is why conversations like this need to be had, because we don't really know what these people really thinking in the whole concept of even what dating even is supposed to be. Dating is really supposed to be the collection of data without the exchange of DNA. That's what dating is supposed to be, truthfully. if you really think about dating from a perspective of getting to know someone as to who they are, what their values are, what their morals are, what their energies are, where they're from, you know, when you're collecting data, there should not be a DNA swap.
This is why I never dated.
But nonetheless, you know what? See, you know, you a whole hot mess, Adrian.
And because you make it sound all super complicated. And saying if we're dating, it's casual. Now, if I call you my girl, now we're more serious. This is when we get into them conversations. If I'm dating you, I'm just trying to see if I can deal with you. You know what I'm saying?
So in other words, we're talking
second night. If I hit it on the first or second night, you ain't gonna be my boo anyway. So
you don't know
that.
It might be the mama. The house might roll and crumble. Seeds may.
You don't know that.
You never know.
Listen,
my mama, Robin Morrison, said
some people that do it on the first night end up in relationships.
Listen, I know people that have been married for years that hit it on the first couple nights.
Yeah,
and they doing just fine.
And then you think you got power because you did what you did and said, okay, now we exclusive.
Now we exclusive.
No, if we do it on the first night, it don't mean you my main boo or we exclusive. No.
If you don't have that conversation, of course not. Maybe not.
We're gonna have an understanding.
Christina,
you're gonna have an understanding. Because if you know that you got some good stuff, you got to make sure, number one, you careful who you giving it to, and number two, everybody can't handle that. So we gonna have a conversation.
First of all, how you know it's even good? Everybody thinks theirs is good.
Whatever. Whatever. Come on now.
Everybody says that.
At a certain age, you know. Like you know what your stroke count is at a certain age, you know what your coochie is at a certain age.
There is people out there with micro penises thinking they're laying it down.
When we start counting,
somebody out there with a micro penis right now saying,
listen, you know if you gonna put 10 or 20 in, you already know.
I have known women in my short career that said, "Ooh, you can't handle this," and I get it, and I'm thinking about what my homeboy's doing because I'm so bored.
But that's those women. That's those women. Everybody is different.
But they said it was good though. They said it was good.
Right.
I mean, probably because you kind of cute, so they want to boost your ego a little bit or stroke your ego.
I'm more than kind of cute.
Oh well, I'm just saying the camera a little fogged right now, so I'm saying you look kind of cute. So I'm saying, you know, you light skinned, you know, you kind of cute and light skinned. So okay.
I'm loving it.
If I'm giving you the slong on a regular basis, you have already upgraded.
Exactly.
About casual dating. I took you to Applebee's. I'm not even taking you to Perry's yet. You going to Applebee's and I might let you get cheese on your burger. We just kicking it.
Wait a minute, hold on. Cheese.
You saying, hey, cheese costs 30 extra cents. If I don't know you, why am I pay that 30 cents? I was that dude in the club that'd buy 2 drinks, both for me.
Who are you talking to? Who is you talking to?
Nobody but itself.
And we definitely wouldn't be dating.
Thank you.
If I invite you to the club, I will buy you a drink. But if you just in the club and I don't know you. If I invite you somewhere,
if you invite me to a club, I don't need you to buy me a drink because trust me, it's probably about 5, 6, 7, 10 more that's got my drinks.
And this is why I'm not buying the drink. Because now you always think about this listening.
So you're saying okay. So Adrian, let me ask Jason Williams part. Let me talk to Jason Williams. We're gonna get off LL Cool J right now. We're gonna let LL cool off over there. So
Christina started it.
Let's talk about some real true realities with this whole scenario. Okay, let's jump from the bedroom to the basics. All right, let's go back to the basics. Okay,
right.
So when you're having these conversations and the dialogues with said person, and y'all just, you're getting to know each other, when is it too much information when a person is asking you questions? Like, women tend to ask more questions than guys do anyway. Guys are more inundated with the external appearance in the initial exchange, and sometimes women tend to ask a little bit more questions.
Y'all do.
When does it come to a place where you're asking too many questions, or you're asking for too much information up front? What are some do's and don'ts in the dating when it comes to the Q&A?
I might be a little different on this. Personally, if it's a question that I really want an answer to, I'm asking. But that's just me. And if you get offended by it, you get offended by it. And it's the same for me. You know, I'm an old school New York head, so we ask what we want to know. You know what I'm saying? If you got a baby daddy, yeah, who's your baby daddy? Do I know him? You know what I'm saying? What's his name again? Does he live off of so and so and so? Yeah, I'm gonna ask if that comes up. Now, granted, don't ask me, how many kids I want and we just dating, because that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
What
just
color
met
the
you.
drapes is.
So that
Right.
would be
Right.
so that would be a clear don't.
Yeah,
And
that's a clear don't. Don't ask me how many kids you want to have on the first date, because it'd be like, why? Because now, granted, I know people done read Steve Harvey's book and they want to, what's your 5-year goal? What's your 10-year plan? Look, I just met you. How about you find out, what I like to eat, where I like to hang out, what I like to do. We could talk about that later when we're really serious about where we're trying to go. Right now, we're just trying to feel each other out. If I like you, I like you. If you like me, you like me. Let's figure out what it is we like about each other and what brings us together than, long-term situations where we may not even make it that far.
Christina
How
got
many
something to
feel
say.
me out dates?
Christina got something to say.
How many feel me out dates do you go on before a person starts to collect the data to determine how many more feel me out dates they want to go on with you?
Because the data is not superficial. The data is not superficial. Now you're talking about just the commonalities and all that, but the data gathering is more in depth.
Right.
So, Christina, what does that look like?
Well, for me, if I go out on a date with somebody, and let's just say a meet and greet, and we start to have a conversation, I think that it's certain questions that you need to ask to determine if we're going to go on another date to continue to get to know each other, or if we're going to continue a conversation after the date. Like if you ask me, if you're a younger guy, and you say, I've never been married and I don't have any kids. Well, for me, I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna have no more kids, so I may not be the one for you. I think it's just certain things.
No eggs to offer.
Yeah, so I think it's certain things. I think it depends on, like, what are you trying to, what's the intention of the date? If we just going to hang out, kick it, and whatever, that's one thing. But if you really trying to go to, like, maybe get to know somebody or whatever, and it's a date, it's questions you need to ask.
Right.
But my thing is, this is like, remember that topic we talked about dating for a purpose? It sounds like dating for a purpose, right? I don't understand that. When I first meet you, I just want to know if we got some kind of connection that we can talk about. Don't ask me about my family history. Don't tell me to log into ancestry.com. I don't care when you want to get married. Tell me your favorite color. What do you like to do in the afternoon? Keep it real surface. You talking to somebody, I don't even like people calling me my first name. And you're going to have me try to give out my life story on the first date? They got to be something for 10 years down the line.
But no, what she's saying is relative to the reality of dating. If I'm collecting data and you and I are conversing and you and I, we have this great connection, whatever, but your reality for tomorrow won't match mine, then there's no need for us to go any further. You're putting somebody in a scenario where they're not going to win. So it makes perfect sense. If I meet Jack and Jack is 34 and I'm 45, Jack says, I don't have no children and I've never been married. I normally just run in the opposite direction because what you're really after, I already know I'm not going to be able to give you.
Exactly.
So
what is he after?
But aren't you probably already know this before you even went on the date?
What I'm saying is sometimes you already know and other times you don't, because a guy Jack could be 35 and disinterested in procreating. That may not be of interest to him. Nonetheless, in most instances, that's not true. Guy wants at least one child with his wife and all that. He waited all this time. He want to meet this lady, have this at least this one tiny human running around with his little name and everything. So I haven't met a guy. I have only met one guy in my 45 years on the planet that did not want to procreate. And I've been dating for 10 years since my husband died. He died 10 years ago. So I done dated young dudes, older dudes, in the middle, whatever. But every single young guy that I've ever come across has always said the same thing. I want to have at least one child. I say, well, I don't have no eggs. I got to go. I have no eggs to offer. Next.
And that's okay, but we can still be friends.
I don't need no new friends.
I'm saying.
Right, no new friends,
But
right.
we're talking about 2021. Shouldn't you know this stuff before you even went on the date?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's relative to how much communication you've had with that person prior to that actual in-person exchange. Because
how many people really just walk up to somebody in Walmart and be like, hey, boo, you want to go out? That don't happen.
No, don't call me boo. Don't call me. You don't know me to call me.
Well, he's not talking about you though.
I'm not talking about you, Pete.
You ain't the only boo. He was talking to somebody else.
You know what I'm saying? You don't even know, man.
Listen,
be like, what's
I'm
up,
being indifferent on purpose. I'm being indifferent on purpose. So Tiffany, go and talk to us. Your mask off. You got your little AKA ministries back. Come on.
I made it on home. I was listening to everyone, enjoying the different perspectives, and I came in and then I asked Mr. Shelton a question, but I just really think that it really does go back to where you are. Like, that definition of dating is where you are right now in your life, because again, if I'm out and you meet someone, regardless of where it is, because it could be in the thrift store, if we have things in common, then we can strike up a conversation, and then we can go from there and see how we can get to know each other. But that's the piece. How are we going to get to know each other? And it really does, in the 2021 ministries, we really have to detail that out because of the chances of the physicality that could present itself, and other challenges. It's just interesting. Was you cutting up for real?
I am not cutting up.
You are cutting up. I was about to wreck my car. Wreck my car.
Listen, he got Antoinette in the comments talking about, I'm gonna get my own drink.
Go get your own drink.
Right.
Don't hurt my feelings.
But most of us should be communicating by phone anyway before we do the face-to-face, right? Because most of us get a phone number and say, hey, call me, we'll talk, before you do the face-to-face. So if you're doing that conversation, most of your investigation should be done before you do the face-to-face. But most of us also know within 5 to 10 minutes of that conversation, whether or not you want to continue communicating with this person. Because if this person doesn't communicate on the same level that you communicate, you're going to automatically be like, you know what? Nah, you too dumb. I don't want to talk to you no more.
But they can't spell in the text message.
Right, right.
And it's got all the phones got.
And the fact that you texted me, because I'm too old for you to really be texting.
That's ironic that you brought that up. I can't even understand the texting at 40 something. I'm
40 something and I love the text. I don't got time to be talking.
So you've been married for 10 years.
Yeah, you different.
42. That's the reason why.
That's why he be meeting them girls at McDonald's.
Exactly.
Hey, I give me a double quarter pounder. Though for free. Shanique will hook it up.
Listen, where's Sandra at? We still look, Tiffany. Adrian talking about he taking me and Sandra to dinner, right? So he said he was taking us to split a sandwich somewhere. I said, what?
Split.
Sandra looked at him like,
one get the salad.
Let me tell you, talking about eating. When I first moved to Houston, single, just out here, I remember I met this guy, I won't say any names, police officer. I was speeding, got out of a ticket, but in exchange, had to give my phone number. A few days passed, like, hey, you want to go eat? I'm like, sure, let's go eat. And then he said, you want to go to Golden Corral buffet, or I think it was Ryan's buffet. Neither. So he and I can't date at all. And I'm glad, and I'm glad we can't date at all.
You asked me about
that's a poor first date. He may not admit anything by that though, but that is a poor first date choice.
But he may have been trying to give you a test, Tiffany.
And I failed then. I take that. I failed. It's 25 years later, I failed and I own that. But again, in those first few minutes or few hours or few conversations, you know what step 2 should be or the possibility if there is a step 2.
And that's something that needs to be identified, because it goes back to the question that Antoinette asked in the chat. How much information am I going to divulge to who? To who am I going to be divulging it to? Right. And why? What's my intention for giving up this kind of information to you in the first place? And then Darren, with this categorization ministry, the categories, Darren. I mean, what are the categories? A D cup, C cup, wide hips, small hips? What's the
Sometimes.
Freak level, whatever it is.
Kangaroo pouch, no pot belly. I mean, what's the category?
Some guys like to look belly in the front. Some guys don't.
If she fine, she could be dumb as a box of rocks. You just want to sit with her sometime. Just say, I'm in your presence, and let you talk and say whatever it is you want to say.
I don't know. I don't care how cute you are. You dumb. I don't want to hang out with you.
Hey.
But with them dumb ones, they got skills though,
No. The crazy ones.
It's the crazy ones.
It's the crazy.
Right.
They got that good, and they gonna trap you.
On our behalf, Christine. I'll slap him on our behalf.
And number 2, don't date nobody from Louisiana. Find your drawers in the front yard and you stuck.
It can't leave the house.
Wow.
What? Really, Adrian?
Number 3, and don't date nobody you work with.
Yep. Don't boo where you sleep.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You might track some home.
Listen.
They usually forget the rules and be trying to come by your desk and stuff, and we already talked about that.
Yeah, just get you a work boo and call it a day.
You can't do work.
No, that's
work is a bad place. Yeah.
That's a dangerous.
Only if they have much to lose as you do. You don't want to date nobody your level. You want to go to executive and high up.
Risk to reward, huh? Risk to reward.
You sound like a sugar daddy.
You gonna do it, you might as well shoot for the top. Why you gonna shoot for low?
So Darren, are you looking at the VP right now or something?
Hey. If she is likable and I can get to her, I'm in IT. If you need something wrong with your computer, I can help you out.
I'm sure
fix it for you.
I am sure
I can fix it for you.
I can't deal with him. I just can't. Oh my God.
You invited us. We were sitting here chilling.
Gracious said all of the categories with these categories. Okay, so let's just so we get ready to bring the train into the station. So let's talk about what we would never divulge in dating. What's just an off limits? I would never talk about this during dating. And we're gonna close the stage out with that. Give our I'll see you next time on the hot seat. But what is something that you would never disclose inside of the dating phase, the data collection phase? Like, I don't know you well enough to tell you.
Talking the first month, the first week, we're talking the first.
We're talking about in the data collection. I don't know you, and you
my
don't
body count.
And how much money I make.
You can't count that high.
Somebody to tell that one. I was waiting on somebody to tell that one.
We can't count that high.
Woods. Catch the middle one. Man.
Tiffany, we know where he live at. That's okay. We got your address, boo. We know where you at.
I wouldn't tell you how much money I make. I wouldn't tell you that.
That's for me.
Never divulge in the date, Christine.
Yep. No matter how much money I make, I can pay for this dinner. That's what you worry about.
Exactly.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Darren, what would you never divulge?
Just what he said, never how much money I make.
I want your own, not his. I want your own.
Okay.
I can take that.
Oh.
I got one for you, Darren. How nasty you are. You don't want to let them know the first night.
Right? What?
Definitely don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to do that. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to ease them into that.
God!
Darren, you don't want to tell him your stripper name. What's your freaking deacon name?
Or Christina said, you don't want to tell them your count, your stroke count.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want you don't want them to call you chocolate milk dud. Didn't I see that in the man?
Tina started that one with the stroke count, talking about 10 to 20 strokes, and I'm done. How many strokes, Darren?
7.
Daddy long stroke.
Look at his eyes, how they got.
Oh, I'm crying.
Oh my God. Christina, so what is something that you would never divulge in those first encounters, if you will?
Come on, stroke count.
I'm not going to talk about my sexual appetite on those first meetings.
I would never divulge what it is I'm really wanting. Because sometimes with guys, when you tell them that, they become that temporarily to get what they're after. So I never tell you exactly what it is my desire is.
Intellectual, yes.
Yeah.
That's a
Because some of them, that you tell them that kind of stuff, and they be like, oh, I done took mental notes. I know what you want. You sure right. I'm going to give you exactly that to get what I'm after, and then I'm on to the next one. Jason, what is it that you would never divulge?
I don't know. Y'all done took all the really good ones.
Yes,
Somebody's not gonna tell how many kids they got.
Ain't nothing but the crumbs left. Well, honestly, I guess I would never give you any of my personal information. Like you won't have anything but my phone number. You may not know my whole name, and you sure enough ain't gonna know where I live.
Facts. All facts. All facts. Well, listen, y'all, this has been an incredibly informative and funny hour. I have had a blast. Christina got to come back because her and Tiffany together, they got to be this thing as together. On Christina,
I'm not allowed to hang out with Tiffany or Sheldon anymore.
Adrian, Christina, Tiffany, no. Adrian on a different show. Adrian, no.
It's Christina fault. It ain't even mine.
Oh my God, she says Christina's fault. Lord have mercy. No, but seriously, this is great dialogue because even though we were jovial and joking and playing, a lot of what we were saying was very serious, extremely serious when you're talking about dating and identifying someone that you want to connect with, and why you want to connect with them, and what's your steps and process to get to the place that you really want and the person that you really want to deal with. How much are we divulging? How much should we not divulge? Are we being respectful? Are we being disrespectful? Are we honoring our own morals and values while we're dating? So this is a lot of questions that we need to be asking ourselves while we're out here in this dating world. The dating world is nothing like our foremothers and our forefathers experienced. None of the stuff that they did it's almost not even relevant anymore. It's not even what people even contemplate when they think about dating now. So we have a lot of things to consider and contemplate when we're at that space in life where we're looking for we're in the positioning as a woman to meet our purpose person and a guy pursuing his purposed woman that he wants to invest his time with or invest the balance of his human days with. So with that, we're going to go ahead and finish for tonight, but everybody is going to put in their shameless plug. Everybody on this platform has some type of business or something that they do that can add value to our audience. So we're going to start with Christina. Y'all give her a good snap clap, honey. She came straight through tonight. We got to have Christina back in the hot seat with us. She did that tonight, honey. She was just all in the family. It's like, we didn't even have to christen her, Tiffany. She just came in. Perfect. Christina, share with these people that wonderful lip gloss that you were popping during the show. But go ahead and tell them about it, girl. Tell them who you are, how they can connect with you, all that good stuff.
So I've known Precious since 1990 something.
Yeah, literally.
Yes.
That's okay, girl. It's okay.
All right, but
they don't know who Precious is.
Okay. But so I have my own cosmetics line. It's Christina Victoria Cosmetics. So you can Google that and you'll find me on Instagram. You'll find me on Facebook. I also started a podcast about 2.5 months ago called Cocktails and Girl Chat. And I talk about everything with my cocktails. And you can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play. And I'm going to be working with Precious so I can get this book out.
Hey. Hey, so we got somebody on our other side who has a copy of our best-selling project behind him, getting ready to hit this second one. Boo, we about to get it again, honey, out here in these streets. Jason Williams, talk to these people. Tell them who you are, how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram. We have a financial consulting business. It's called Miller Williams Financial Consulting. What else? That's about it. You'll catch.
You're not gonna tell these people about your music, Jason. What is wrong with you?
Well, because my music thing is me. I don't want you bothering me about my. No, I'm just kidding.
Fine.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, if you need a bass player, you need a band, whatever. I can put it together for you. Just let me know whenever and wherever. We'll make it happen.
Facts, all facts. Darren Baker, go ahead and talk to the people. Let them know about you, Darren.
Thank you once again for having me on the show, Miss P. Koffe Brown. Thanks for the ladies on the show and my brothers, my author brothers. Best-selling book, Why He Married Her and Played Me. I'm one of the authors on the book. You should get your copy. If you can't get a copy, you should call me and I'll get you a copy. Of course, for $25.99, you can get you a copy of the book. You can reach me on Darren Baker on Facebook and Dark Knight Photography on Instagram. And I got a few other things working on, some other talk show hosts. It's in the making currently right now. I'll be on show coming out soon. I'll let everybody know when it actually is done, but working on those things right now.
Awesome. Dr. Troublemaker Adrian Wood. Yes. Tell them about what you really do behind that Kango hat, about that Geek Squad.
You know how I do this. If you want to holler at me, I'll be on Instagram. I got 2 Instagrams. One's Doc Woods. You can ask me anything on there and I'm going to give you my advice. I also sell comic books, Geek Life. Invest in a comic. It'll get you paid. Saying buy a comic for $20 a day, 3-4 years now, be worth thousands of dollars. So don't slip. It's like the stock market. And then sometimes Koffe will call me up and I'll write something, do something for her. That's my girl. Because I'm a best-selling author too with Darren and Jason. Oh my goodness. And I'm coming back for the sequel. Look for it.
Facts. Tiffany Abrams Shelton, our superintendent in the making. Talk to us, Tiffany.
Hey, I'm gonna come just from a different angle. I just pray that everyone out there on the different social media platforms continue to do what they need to do to protect themselves and their loved ones from this bad virus that we're in. Our kids are suffering. Our kids can't come to school safely because of adult behavior. So whatever it is that you believe in, whether you take COVID tests or you're going to get the vaccine, you're not going to get the vaccine, whatever it is that you do, please do it safely so that our kids don't have to continue this. They are truly, truly, truly suffering out there. So that's my shameless plug. We want to get our education system.
That wasn't a shameless plug, man. That's a whole health and wellness segment.
I added my own section.
and learning is power.
And learning is power.
Who I am after she done said that. I mean, what am I supposed to say?
I love y'all, everybody.
You're right though. You're absolutely right in what you're saying. As an insurance agent, I clearly see some of the results of people not being conscious and not only taking care of themselves, but other people around them. So it's a whole hot mess, to say the least. But I am your hostess with the mostest, your bling boss lady out here in these Texas streets, making it happen. I am a best-selling publisher. I own DFG Publishing House, LLC. And we have some incredible authors that are on the platform tonight. Everybody on the platform pretty much is going to be, if they aren't a part of DFG, they will be a part of DFG, future tense. So we're doing some great things to add value as it pertains to relationships from a perspective of creating content that will last long after we're gone from this planet. So that is our mission and our aspiration, to leave a legacy in the earth. I own a boutique where my daughters and I do what we must so I can leave a legacy for my girls when I get up out of this planet. Somebody got to leave something. So I work with my son to do business endeavors with him. Christina has sons. I know she does that too. Everybody on here got family. So we all do what we have to do to create legacy for our children and their children, and as many generations as we can add value to. So that's what we do. That's what we do. We're value adders. So when we get off of here, every person that is on the show tonight, they'll put something in the chat in order for you to be able to connect with them. Christina, make sure you put your website in the chat so that people can connect with you. And that way we can keep up with you guys and the projects that you're working on. Be on the lookout. I have a new book that will be released here in the next about 75 days or so. There will be another project from DFG Publishing House, and then we'll be on to the next one from there. Super excited about all that is happening and everything that we are doing to add value to the world globally. But as Tiffany said, continue to wear your mask up, look up, and make sure you're doing whatever you have to do to add value to other people's lives, not just yours. The more people you add value to, the more your life will become of great value. So Christina, you have to do it in the chat from the on the actual Facebook. You over here putting it in the chat from us on the Zoom ministries.
I'm acting like I'm somebody's
on the Facebook, girl.
You worried about that count?
Worrying about appetite.
That's important. At my age, that's important.
That's important, right? But nonetheless, no, seriously, you guys, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate the
5 minutes of your life.
Ooh, wait a minute now. It's time to shut the live down. We got after hours going on, Tiffany. Did you hear that? We got after hours. But no, seriously, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in for this week's edition of the Hot Seat. We will be back next week doing what we do best, adding value, making sure that you understand the decisions that you make as you forge into some successful relationships with your purpose person. Good night. God bless. And we will see you all again next week. I will be live tomorrow night with some more bling slinging here in these Texas streets. So check me out. Make sure you're following me on the Book of Faces IG, LinkedIn, and on Clubhouse. Everything that I have is P. Koffe Brown. So you guys, grace, peace, and blessings until we meet again. Good night, loves. Thank y'all so much for being here. We loved it. It was a great show. We appreciate y'all. Good night, bosses.
Peace.